really a textbook example of
Yeah.
the power of our music community here,
Yep.
and as opposed to people competing with everybody,
Hmm.
um, people actually coming together to move people in the right direction, and it's not common. This is kind of a special place that
Yeah.
we have here, and by place I mean mental place and physical place,
Hmm.
because it doesn't happen everywhere. And I know, Walt's an Army brat, and Jamie, you've moved around a lot, and I've certainly been a music gypsy. I've been a lot of places, and this place is different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
This geographic location is different, and it's mentally different. For whatever reason, there's a very interesting mix of people, ages,
Hmm.
backgrounds, just all kinds of different things, but it's come together to create something incredibly special that I
Hmm.
just have not encountered anywhere else
Right.
that I've lived, and I've lived in a lot of places because I people get sick of me and they will invite me to leave after a short period of time.
They buy you
Uh,
that train ticket out of town.
right now, that hasn't happened here yet, but I'm holding my breath.
No, he was given a bus ticket.
Yeah, right.
He was given the stage, the next one out of town.
Right.
Yeah, this town
No,
ain't big enough for you.
I agree with you 100% because I was born and raised here, and at graduation time, couldn't wait to leave because I was going to be a rock star, and it wasn't happening in Arizona. I thought I didn't think this was the place, and I've said it many times. There's not a music scene in Arizona, and like you, I've been. Well, both of you have been all over, and
Hmm.
I've seen them. And there's scenes in different states and different places, and they're great. Once I got back here, I thought it was over for me. I thought, well, I'm done. And it is blown up and so much bigger than I ever gave
Hmm.
Arizona credit for,
Hmm.
especially Tempe.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just, it's amazing. And I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad I'm back.
Me
Okay.
too.
So yeah, I'm glad you're back. We have
Just, it's been a wonderful journey, I would say. It's a journey of the guitar world. It gives me so much joy to see over 3,000 graduates that are connected everywhere in the guitar making world. Everybody from large companies, smaller companies, apprenticeships, guitar repair techs, guitar supply industries, you name it, and we have somebody in those fields, and it's just it's been the joy of my life because it impacts students in such a significant way.
so tonight or tomorrow, a sold out event already at the MIM. Uh, can you just talk about that real quick and not real quick, take your time on it to show how far this school has gone and what myself and other local musicians are going to be a part of
Yeah,
at
I'd
the
be
MIM.
happy to. And just
Hmm.
cut me off. I tend to go on too long.
But love it. I love it.
Well, so yeah, so this wood story that I just told about, we still have some of that. A lot of it got used making guitars, especially in the 70s, 80s. By the 90s, it's so cracked and checked because John didn't ever want to all cut it up. What you do typically is you cut it all on the backs and sides, wax the ends, and seal it up and sticker it and put it in a humidity control room. That's how you'd save that wood. But this wood sits out in the desert for years and years. And what, a year and a half ago, or a little longer than that, I'm having I'm at the MIM Museum for their Founders Day event, and with my good friend Dr. Richard Walter, we're walking through the exhibit, which is kind of a lot of guitars in that exhibit. But they also had this oboe maker who makes oboes out of wood with no joints. Now, if you play oboe, the purpose of the joint is you can intonate the instrument. You can shorten the bore or lengthen it to sharpen or flatten notes, and that's typically what you do with an oboe. He makes them without joints. He's famous for this. And the way he does it, he keeps his wood out in the wild, just outside, gets rained on, gets sun, everything, before he'll use it, because then he'll know what happens with the wood. Anything that's going to happen to that wood, it's done. So then he makes the oboe. And I'm seeing this exhibit. I said, oh, spark goes in my mind. Um, we have with some of that wood to school. It's been out for ages. And so that same week, I go back, I come to the school, I pick out one of our big boards. See, these are big boards. They're about this dimension by 10 feet. So I pick one out. Not at random, I'm thinking, okay, you trees, you have a volition of your own. You decide to come to the desert for a reason, and this is going to be a very special thing. So we pull this board out, take it over to the saw, cut it in half, and open it up. That's what you do to make guitar wood. You cut a slice of wood, open it up, and you get what's called a book match side. We were flabbergasted because it didn't have hardly any cracks in the middle.
Hmm.
Said this is impossible, and um, so we decided we're going to give out this wood to some of our elite graduate builders who are world famous. We're going to give it to almost all the major companies who employ our graduates, and we have graduates that are vice president of Gibson, senior research design engineer for Fender. Um, Collings Guitars, one of the most famous guitar companies in the world, is headed up by Steve Nall, one of our graduates. Um, Gibson and Bozeman, their quality control manager is one of our graduates. I can go on and on. So these graduates are infiltrated all throughout the guitar making community. Even some of them have gone over to Asia, sent up plants over there. Donnie Wade, who will be here tonight for our special event. So that was the idea of what is the prelude to this MIM event. So we gift this wood out. All these builders were making about close to 50 guitars for the 50th anniversary, and they are arriving as we speak here at the school. For our gallery, we have a special event just for the builders tonight and musicians who are playing at the MIM to have the first showing of these instruments that have been built over this past year and a half. And they'll be in our gallery, and there's all kinds. It's just mind blowing because when I thought of this idea and the staff got involved and we started imagining this, cool idea. I can't wait to see what Fender makes or what Gibson makes or Jason Kossel or Ray Kraut or Michael Bernick, these famous luthiers from our school. And now that starting to see them in person,
Wow.
I can't tell you. It's incredible. I mean, you've heard of Les Paul Gibsons, right? Well, they made two of them.
Oh,
And with designs, they used some turquoise from a school that John had collected. Oh, John was a rock hound, so there's turquoise in it. 75th, Bob Taylor, talked to him just the other day. His guitar has, 50th anniversary Roberto Venn. You see this stuff, and Bob Taylor is an icon. He's perhaps one of the most influential guitar makers of our era. Taylor guitars. Who hasn't heard of Taylor guitars? Taylor
yeah.
Swift plays a Taylor guitar. And there's another story there. I won't go into that, but so
Go into that one for me.
what's that?
You might have to go into that story for me.
Well, the short story is when Taylor Swift comes out, she's playing a guitar made from koa, and I have an instrument made from pretty much the same tree. So when I see her playing that instrument, this is before anybody really knows who she is. She's just up and coming. And I say, I know where that wood comes from. One of my graduates, the Roberto Venn School graduate, Doug Dagenhart, moves to the Big Island. He lives there, and he starts getting to know all the people on a big island. And he's a guitar maker. He starts up, volcano guitars because he's near the volcano up on the slopes where the koa grows. He gets to know these people, and he's going in and collecting stumps. You can't cut koa over there, but there's stump wood. So he'll go in with a big front end loader, dig around it, pull it up. He makes himself a mill, on the spot mill. And Doug starts supplying this wood to everybody, everybody from Santa Cruz, Taylor, Martin, you name it, all the big companies. He's giving this wood, and he gave us some of this real premium stuff. And some of it is just so exotic. I wish I had it here, I'd show you, but this is flamed koa. And for some reason, Taylor's attracted to this. I talked to Bob about this. I said, tell me about this wood. I know exactly where it comes from. I says, yeah. He says, your tree might have been 50 yards away, but yeah, this comes from the same place.
Earphone in, and it was always listening to music. We didn't have headphones back then. We had one little white earphone uh, hooked up to an AM radio, and I was always listening. So I was about 14 years old, and he said, you know, I know you're interested in radio, and I spend a lot of money at these radio stations. What if I ask the general manager at the local radio station? This is outside of Boston, where I grew up. If he's got a position for, like, you know, someone who wants to go get coffee or a gopher. And I said, yeah, that sounds really cool. So that happened, and there was this group of radio stations that had a big AM radio station, because that's what there was then, and this whole new thing called FM was just literally
Yeah.
starting. So this is like 1972, and just starting. So I walk in there, and I could tell right away that the general manager of the radio station was not thrilled, that he was kind of coerced into having this kid, you know, be there. So he said, "Oh, you're Murray's kid," and then he said, "Call the program director over." So the program director comes over, and the general manager says to him, "Whatever you do, don't put this." There was a word, kid, on the AM radio station. Put him on the FM where nobody's listening,
Well,
and that's kind of how it all started. And honestly, I was like 14 or something. I walked into the studio, and FM radio back then was extremely loose, because nobody cared. Nobody had a receiver. So it was like, you know, you're putting it out there into the vapor. And I walked in there, and there were two guys with long hair, and they're on the morning, and they're smoking a joint on the air. And it was at that moment I said, you know, if I could just figure out a way to have somebody pay me for doing this, this would probably be an okay thing to do. And then from there, it was just, the station actually is interesting, became massive. It became one of the banner early progressive rock stations in the country. And because it sat in central Massachusetts with a 50,000 watt signal, which is the most you can have east of the Mississippi, it hit like 5 major markets. It hit Boston, it hit Worcester, Massachusetts, Hartford, Connecticut, Manchester, New Hampshire, Providence, Rhode Island. It just had this massive reach, and just really through one of those things about luck and being in the right place at the right time. As the whole thing was growing, I learned from some of the absolute best people who were in the industry, and went on to do some pretty spectacular things. So I always knew that I wanted to be in that, and then simultaneously I was always in a band.
cool.
Usually a bad band, but a band.
No, I'm not going to touch that one, but so, let me ask you this. You've obviously seen the music scene evolve over time in many formats, in many places. So in Arizona, what's the biggest change you've noticed in the way local artists connect with the audiences today?
Well, you know, there's always a dichotomy that goes on, and technology and progress happen pretty much geometrically. That, you know, if you look at the expanse of human history, 300,000 years or whatever, you know, let's say at 100,000 years we learned how to deal with fire, and then from there it took another maybe 100,000 years till someone said, "Hey, you know, this wheel thing, that's a good idea. 'Cause my back has been killing me. And I'm thinking this whole wheel thing can really make things better." And that took 50,000 years. Well, now the level of change of what used to take 50,000 years takes a second or 2 seconds. It's evolving at that level. So what does that mean, you know, for artists, for musicians? Back when I was doing that radio thing, let's say in 1972, you needed that route to connect with the audience en masse. You go do a show, get on a stage and do a show, but that's going to be 100 people, 200 people, even 1,000 people, whatever. But once you got on the radio, you were talking about a mass medium, mass, um, just really mass stuff. And the difference now, I think, is that that has really been bypassed to some extent, and you can connect directly with people via platforms like this very thing that we're doing here. You used to have a $5 million television studio to do what we're doing now, and now you can do it with a $100 subscription to Zoom and a $250 laptop.
Yeah.
And that's so the good of it is you can do that. The bad of it is there's very little common community experience now. And I think an advantage perhaps that we all had, the three of us here when we were growing up, was when a new Beatles album came out, let's say, everybody got it at the same time. Everybody talked about it. It was huge. It's what we focused on. It's what the quote unquote community focused on. Ed Sullivan was on Sunday nights. We didn't have 150 choices. We had three. And if you want to count classroom TV, there were four. But because it wasn't PBS, it was literally some boring dude standing there saying 4 + 4 = 8, and some people watched it. But there was, and then the next day everybody would talk about, did you see Sullivan last night? Hermits were on there, or James Brown was on there, or ba 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 ba. Big communal experiences. When men landed on the moon, we all watched it together. When Kennedy got shot, we all experienced it together. We don't have that anymore. Everybody's in their own little niche corner. And I guess there's some, like with anything, there's some good to that and there's some bad to that.
And I moved in with her there, and then Georgia, take over this part.
So he mentioned to me at some point that he really wanted to live in Phoenix, and I had only been through the airport, like coming from a ski trip or something at one point in time. So my job had an opportunity to move to Phoenix. I applied for a coworker's position who had left, and I got the job, and I could live either in Southern California, LA, or here. And so we picked here. They moved us here, and the rest is history. We're here.
Wow.
I have a follow-up question. So, George, you mentioned Carlos Castanedas.
Yes.
So, in 72, well, let's say in 72 to 74, I was at Pensacola Junior College. And there were several books that just kind of like broke it open for me. And Carlos Castanedas was one of those books that I read. I don't know if it was this Separate Reality or something like that. And that's how I ended up in Arizona.
Wow.
Was that same book, his studies with the Yaqui Indian way. And it turns out that when I got here to Arizona and I graduated ASU, I ended up moving into this neighborhood that I'm still here now, which is just right down the street from that the Yaqui Indians over there in Guadalupe. And
Cool.
but earlier in my early days of playing music, he was coming back and forth to ASU, giving lectures and everything. And there was a cool party, a whole bunch of hippies and all of us hanging out, call myself a hippie, I guess, at that time. And he was at the party. I didn't talk with him, but he was there hanging out with, and I saw him in the corner. And it was just this really interesting energy. But when you said that, I go, man, we came here with almost on the same vibe.
Yeah, that's
cool.
really cool. And
Are you guys all done with your shroom love now, or can we move on off the psilocybin? Or
look here, we had some Tootsie Rolls for you, Glenn.
I'm just saying, I read those books too, so I know what they were all about.
That's cool. I think about him to
Anyway,
this day. Yeah.
I've wondered this because I have never been a musical partner with my life partner. And it's like I never worked for my dad or anything like that, just because I was always concerned about, just that aspect. I could see where it would be an amazing thing, but on the other hand, could be pretty challenging. So I'd be really interested to know from both of you guys, being life partners and being musical partners, how does that work? I mean, I see the end result. I think it works incredibly well musically, and you seem like pretty happy people. But how does that dynamic work for you guys?
Go ahead. Oh, how does it work for you?
Well, so it was challenging at first. I think we were just kind of thrown together. We kind of moved in during pandemic, and we started playing music, and we really weren't playing out. We weren't life partners when we were playing together in Denver. And then, since moving here more recently, I think is when we started playing out since 2001. And I think the interesting dynamic is that, we're really good in many aspects. It's rehearsal time that can be a challenge. And we actually do rehearse now. But, George he's so specific in what he likes in his music, and he's so meticulous in how he plays. He expects perfection, and I'm not necessarily a perfectionist in many ways. And I'm kind of new with playing bass and that kind of thing. So I'm really good with the vocal part, but, bringing in new instruments and that kinds of things can be challenging. One other thing is that George has a tendency to like to change what we've already arranged. So, I might be used to playing something a certain way, and then suddenly, we're not doing it that way. And my brain sometimes doesn't work that way, but we work it through. I think it's just trying to be patient with each other. But in the long run, it's really fun. We're having a great time, and I think that's what counts.
So George is the one who, after the furniture set, comes in and moves the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the paintings on the walls, like they can't put anything up until we get approval.
And I walk around with a level to make sure.
So there is an interesting dynamic that just happened recently where we had, at the open mic night, we had just George. And you should have heard the rumors flying around. What happened? Whoa. You see? I don't know. I'm just introducing it. That's how I wrote it.
Somewhere. You just catch it.
Yeah.
And last night at TCA was just, we've all played those kind of things where you just kind of feel like you're jumping on the train. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those kind of nights. But I appreciate the kind words, and Jay Marie, if you had actually gotten the gumption to get off your fanny and come on down, you could have been part of all of it. But you chose to stay home and watch the Game Show Network. So
actually, I was looking up things to do for our little broadcast here.
Well, see, that's the beauty of Walt and I, is we don't really care. There's no preparation. No.
I'm not that old yet, Glenn. I still care.
There's no preparation. It's, pull down your pants and slide on the ice, baby.
Okay. That preparation begins with a letter H.
That one comes with age
I'm
too.
not that old yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a swig of coffee to celebrate that one, Walter. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Cheers.
But anyway, so Jay Marie, what's going on over there in Floristan?
Well, we've already talked about the West Side, so let me tell you about Pinell County, because Superior has a great. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Superior.
Yeah.
But they have a great event. I tried to find out if it was once a month or twice a month. I haven't figured that out yet. But they have music in the park at Beseech Park, and it's like an open mic out in the park. You show up with your instruments, you jam with a people. It's from 12 to 3. Um, you can sit back, relax, watch, bring a picnic. But it's a great event. It's a lot of fun, and they do it, when the weather's good. Hopefully, there's no haboobs today for them because no, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So, but I
So
think it's once a month. It's free.
It's Friday,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
what time is that? You said the
Actually,
time.
I lied to you, Walt. It's on Saturdays. I'm
Oh,
sorry. It's a Saturday event from 12 to 3. It's a weekend event.
And
Yeah.
you said
okay.
once a month they do that?
I think so. That's as far as I could see it was. I tried to see if it was more than that, but it looks like it's just once a month.
Yeah,
Are you
Yeah.
going?
and they do some nice stuff over in Globe too.
Are you
Oh yeah,
going?
Right next
Globe's
door.
got some
Are you
venues.
are you going?
I'm not because I'm going to be at the Badlands Bar and Grill on
Oh,
Saturday in Queen Creek.
okay.
So Hooter is playing there.
Did they
Hooter.
just open back up, or there used to be another?
It was a
It,
different venue. They just
yeah.
reopened. Yeah, when I was growing up, it was the Queen Creek Bar and Grill. It was,
Okay.
just they had karaoke. I don't think they had live music there very much, but they've got new owners. They remodeled it all. It looks really cool, the Badlands, and they have a lot of duo acts. And Hooter's playing there. I don't know if you
Okay.
all have met
Yep.
him. He does
Yeah. Yep.
Valley.
Blues
He's
guy?
playing Saturday. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be there Saturday. But out in Florence, the Windmill Winery. That is such a great place. They have weddings there, but they host live music. And
I've been
um,
there. I've been
yeah,
there. It
it's
is
a
nice.
great, great venue. We're going to be playing there. We've got 6 gigs there this year, so I'm real excited about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wow.
live, loud, and local on my end. I beat you, Walt.
That's okay. Go for it. Do it.
Live, loud, and local. We've got so much going on out here. Schneff Farms has Christmas at the farm, and they've got ice skating. They have got, uh, you name it, they've got it. Carrie does such a good job out there. A lot is going on over there. I want to talk about, though, your side of the valley because you all have so much going on. We've got Glendale Glitters. They've got stuff in Tempe. All of us have shows going on. Christmas is just such a festive time. And what I really love about Christmas in Arizona, and maybe it's in other states too, I don't know, but we're in Arizona. I love driving through the neighborhoods where you can turn the radio on and hear Christmas music and look at all the lights. In these neighborhoods, so many people get involved, and it's just, I love it. I love how people just get together, play the Christmas music, and, you can just go travel around the whole state and see this all over the valley, and I love that.
Oh, that I have done that before, and I'm telling you, it's a full night event.
It is.
It's
And you
just a
can you
lot of
can
fun.
pick the city and it's different everywhere because everyone has a different vibe
Hmm?
from city to city and
Yep.
it's awesome. It's awesome. I've seen big buses pull up into some of these neighborhoods.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah. So
and
get
some of
out
them have.
there and see the lights and go to Glendale Glitters is I think my favorite probably in the valley. But
And some people from some of the police departments volunteer
yeah.
as safety agents in the
Yep.
whole area, guiding people through, guiding the
Yep.
traffic through, keeping it moving in one direction, and making sure that everybody has access. So if you're
Yeah.
wheelchair bound or
Sure.
transportationally challenged and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
they make it happen for you. And the
Yeah.
neighborhoods are the ones that do it on their own.
Yeah.
They get together and they plan it out,
They do.
and it's
That's
it's.
what's amazing to me. They just
Mhm.
come together and let's do this, and some of them have hot chocolate for
Oh,
sale,
oh,
or
oh, oh,
yeah, they got it going on. I love it. I love going. I love going and seeing that. I do want to plug my show though. We've got
go ahead.
we've got 2 shows out here in Queen Creek. I've got Badlands is going to have Sultan Barrett and I there as a duo. We've never played there, so it's our debut at Badlands out in Queen Creek. And then the final show of the year for the Blindsiders is at the Chill Room, Tempe, Arizona. It's my favorite place. That's my favorite venue, and we'll be there from 6:30 to 10 playing music. We've got an opening act, and Bruce Levy's never played before, so come out and see Bruce and his son, and
So what date is that on
that's going
your?
to be Saturday, December 20th.
Okay, Okay,
And I know
so
you have a show. I think Glenn does too. You guys are going to miss my last show of the year.
well, no, well, actually, what time your start at what time?
6:30.
What time's it in?
Whenever Sal lets me, whenever Sal kicks me out.
When he unlocks the door and
Okay, okay.
gives her
You
the
Yeah,
know
so
boot.
me, I'll just keep playing until Sal says enough.
yeah, so yeah, because we're playing at the Divided Vine.
Yeah, you and Tim, right?
Yeah, me and Tim at the same time,
Yeah, 6 to
6:30,
9.
6 to 9.
You'll
That's
miss
a
it.
popular time spot.
It is. It is. It is.
Well,
I'm done though. Live, loud, and local for me. What's going on with you guys?